This woman actually walked into the wedding venue carrying a bucket of sewage. She poured it directly over the heads of the bride and groom. The newlyweds were none other than her husband and her own younger sister. She had once been the exalted heiress of the Shen family until she accidentally caught her husband and sister entangled half-naked and shameless. Her husband didn't even deny it. He flatly admitted he'd never loved her. Everything he'd done was just to seize the Shen family fortune. But even more vicious, this despicable couple conspired with her cold-hearted father to frame her for illegal fundraising and send her to prison with their own hands. In prison, she endured endless torment, and the one who ordered it all? Her own husband. Years later, she was finally released. And today just happened to be the grand wedding of that treacherous pair. Watching the adored couple on stage and hearing the guests' whispers of scorn, the fire of revenge inside her blazed uncontrollably. She stormed into the banquet, holding her wedding gift prepared long in advance. Amidst everyone's stunned silence, she drenched the couple in filth. She ripped off her sister's hypocritical mask in public, slapping her awake from her delusions. Then she exposed her ex-husband's darkest secret hidden for years. When her father accused her of disgracing the family name, her words dripped with blood and tears, denouncing how he abandoned his wife and daughter and colluded with outsiders to frame his own flesh and blood. Enraged and humiliated, her ex-husband mocked her as a madwoman no one wanted. To retaliate against this insult, she grabbed a ragged beggar at random and announced to the crowd, "This is my new fiancé." But she had no idea this man she'd pulled at random was, in truth, powerful enough to make everyone present drop to their knees and beg for mercy. This woman actually picked up a filthy beggar at the wedding venue and declared he was her new fiancé. She would use him to get revenge on her treacherous husband and sister. The crowd mocked. An ex-con paired with a stinking beggar. Truly a match made in heaven. Ignoring their ridicule, she made a wild bet. Within 3 months, she would strike out on her own, crush her family's empire, and become the new richest person in Haishi City. If she failed, she'd kneel down and kowtow to that despicable couple. Her sister and husband laughed it off as the joke of the century. However, no one knew that the beggar she'd randomly picked up was far more than he appeared. He was, in fact, the true heir of Lu Group, the most powerful conglomerate in the nation. Not long ago, he'd been nearly murdered by his own younger brother, almost chopped to pieces and fed to fish. To uncover the traitor within his company and take revenge on his brother, he had no choice but to disguise himself as a beggar and vanish into the streets. After she took him home, this woman.ru, moored to be cruel and greedy, showed him unexpected tenderness. She personally treated his wounds, dressed him in new clothes, and boldly declared, "From now on, you're under my protection." This stunned the man in disguise. For the first time, he felt genuine curiosity about this outrageous woman. Soon, she took him to pick out wedding attire, only to run into her sister and husband by sheer bad luck. Her sister deliberately flaunted her expensive custom gown, mocking that the woman couldn't even afford to rent one. To everyone's surprise, the woman simply swiped her card, snatched the clothes, and threw them away, saying she'd never wear anything someone else had tried on. Humiliated in public, the husband and sister fumed with rage. What they didn't know was that the second young master of the Liu family they were about to partner with for their comeback was none other than the very man who'd tried to kill him. A massive conspiracy was now tightly binding these two pairs of strangers together. At that moment, he secretly contacted his subordinates, deciding to play along with her plan, to stay by her side and protect this fascinating woman. How will he use his beggar disguise to shake the entire city of Haishi to its core? The heiress of Haicheng's richest family, at her own engagement banquet, announced she would marry a beggar she'd picked up off the street. And all of this was only the beginning of her revenge plan. This woman, 5 years ago, was framed and sent to prison by her stepsister and fiancé. Now, she's returned with a vengeance. Her first move? Publicly humiliate everyone who ever wronged her. She deliberately held her engagement party at the same hotel where her ex and stepsister got married, just to strip them of every shred of dignity. As the auspicious hour approached, her beggar fiancé still hadn't shown up. Her stepsister and ex seized the chance to mock her relentlessly, declaring even a beggar wouldn't stoop to marry her. They even forced her to kneel and kowtow to the entire family in apology. Just as she was cornered with no way out, a man with overwhelming presence suddenly appeared. It was that very beggar. But now, he wore a tailored suit, handsome beyond compare, making her trashy ex look like nothing in comparison. The entire crowd was stunned into silence. Her stepsister, burning with jealousy, accused her, claiming she'd hired a male escort just to save face. Faced with this insult, the woman unleashed her full fury. She tore her ex's family apart with scathing words, then pulled out their invitation cards and told them their seats were outside, at the table with stray cats and dogs. But the real bombshell? She announced on the spot the founding of New Shen Group, openly declaring war on her father's company. After her furious family stormed out, the plot twisted again. This man, called a beggar, was actually a hidden heir of a top-tier conglomerate. Even his subordinates warned him, "The old chairman will never allow you to marry a divorced woman with a prison record." Yet, the woman had no idea of his true identity. She handed him a cooperation agreement, telling him the engagement was just an act. If he played along for 3 days, he'd receive a huge sum of money. Will this hidden tycoon sign the contract? And what is his real reason for getting close to her? The moment she stepped out of prison, the first thing she did was storm into her own mansion with her new boyfriend. She threw out her husband and his mistress, her own sister, like garbage taking over someone else's home. With icy authority, she declared, "This mansion is my mother's inheritance. It has nothing to do with that family." Faced with her ex-husband's hysterical accusations, she merely gave a scornful smile. Then she pulled the handsome young man beside her and publicly humiliated her ex as a pathetic loser who couldn't last 3 seconds in bed. He's not even 1/10,000th as good as my new boyfriend. The scumbag ex flew into a rage, spitting threats. I've already connected with the city's richest man. Sooner or later, I'll bankrupt your company. But what he didn't know was that the man posing as her new boyfriend was none other than the heir of that very billionaire family. His true purpose here? To protect this woman who had just returned from hell. Her next move? Fire the malicious housekeeper who had betrayed her years ago. Immediately after, she opened public applications for a new housekeeper, and the hidden heir of the billionaire family, he personally came to apply. Just then, her parents and sister showed up at the gate, screaming insults at the top of their lungs. Watching this shameless family outside, the woman gave the 3 housekeeper candidates a test on the spot. Whoever dares throw this bucket of water out there gets hired immediately. While the other 2 hesitated, the billionaire heir didn't flinch. He grabbed the bucket and drenched them with ice-cold water without mercy. Faced with their hysterical shrieking, the woman finally snapped. She screamed out 5 years of pent-up pain. It turned out, her husband and her own sister had conspired to send her to prison. They bribed prison gangs to force her to drink filthy water. And her parents? They turned a blind eye to it all. She'd once served her entire family like a maid, only to be repaid with betrayal from every single one of them. Now fully unleashed, she exposed her sister's secret. Her entire body was fake. The jerk collapsed on the spot when her parents tried emotional blackmail. You're the older sister, you should be reasonable. She made her declaration clear. You'll all get a taste of 5 years behind bars, just like I did. Will she finally get her revenge?